How can teachers using computerized technology radically change the public educational landscape? Our next guests are here to tell us just that. First of all, teacher Jeffrey Smith is with us. Hello, Jeffrey. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing fine, thank you.
Glad to have you with us with the regional occupational programs for Alhambra High School, which I'm assuming is near here.
Yes, it is. It's just across the bay.
Oh, very fine. Okay, like Oakland area.
A little farther, but in that direction.
Okay, very
Martinez,
good.
California.
Gotcha. And a student that Jeffrey brought with him is Brittany Magoon. Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Wonderful.
Good. Glad to have you with us as well. So let's talk about, for example, the whole idea of technology and classroom discussion and how it's made a difference. First of all, from your standpoint, Jeff, as a teacher.
Certainly. The great thing for a teacher is working with all these Autodesk applications. You're really at the forefront of technology. And so then the question for an instructor is how do you get the students to be engaged and how do you get them to be passionate about all this that you can do? And so,
because they generally have a lot of passion, but frequently it's for a lot of other things,
like
tweeting and Facebooking and the social stuff.
Right.
But now it's learning time. There's reasons to be just as passionate.
Well, that's a good point, because one of the things is they love technology.
Sure.
And so you have an option with all that's available now, and it's only been recently with all the broadband that are available in the high schools that you can actually do instruction with videos and do screen captured instruction, and so you're able to really model what and how you design with software. Whereas before, the traditional means with a textbook, it's every student's on their own, and it's very hard to engage them all. So there's a lot of technology there where you can have the students similar to what we're doing right now with a headphone. They plug in, they have two screens on the monitor, and they watch me talk to them. And so I don't have to stand up in front of a room. They're watching me, they're listening to me, they're looking at how you do this. And so you have 40 kids, and it's like a library. It's so quiet because they're all engaged. And the great thing is when they're stuck and they're having difficulty, they can raise their hand and I can actually give them that one-on-one time.
So you are there in the classroom.
I'm there. So
even though you're on camera to their monitor.
Right. But so it's augmenting. So it really lets me be a better teacher because I can do one-on-one where they need help, as opposed to you have 30 kids and one person's already there and the other person's waiting.
Yeah.
They're all working at their own pace, and I can really give them the one-on-one.
Now, Brittany, if Mr. Smith promises that your grade will not be affected, is he right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you find as a student that exactly what he's talking about has made a difference in what you're learning and how you're learning?
Oh, definitely, because there's, I don't know, probably like 20 students in a class, and when you're doing something so active, hands-on, you need that personal attention, and it helped a lot because with the video, you got that personal attention, you got that help. Okay, I need to rewind, and I need to fast forward. Okay, I already know how to do that. Let's skip it, or I need to go back. And then also, I was always, Mr. Smith, Mr. Smith.
So that interaction is still there, no doubt. You're not missing that from a classroom environment.
No, actually, I got it more than any of my other classes having the video. Yeah.
Wow, now see, as a teacher, that's got to give you the warm fuzzies to know that what you're teaching is making a difference, and as a student, you find it easy to understand, right?
Yeah, very simple to understand, and while doing the building for our competition, I actually went back to some of the videos, like, oh, how do we do this again, and stuff like that, so it was very helpful.
So I'm hearing things, Jeff, that, for example, this is not only improving the educational process, but saving schools money?
It can, because if you look at the environment, realistically, please don't tell my administration, but
no, it's just between us.
I could probably have 50 kids in my classroom.
Wow.
And be able to control them. I mean, when I say control, obviously they're going to be, you don't really have control, but I can.
Yeah, the spitballs still exist. But
you can manage it, and they're very engaged. It's very interesting because I've taught in traditional classrooms with other curriculum history, and and the other advantage we have here is it's an elective class and it's a vocational class. And I got to put my 2 cents in for these vocational classes because they're learning a skill, they want to learn the skill, and they're having a lot of fun at the same time. So you can have a lot of students in the classroom, and you can give them that one-on-one attention. It takes a while for a teacher to set that up, and you have to be very proactive in your lesson planning. But once it's there, it's always there, and I can reuse it the next year and the next year. But I can really give them the one-on-one attention because when they're having difficulty, it's exactly I can go on that particular item as opposed to try to teach everybody at the same time.
Is there any subject, both of your perspectives, that you think this would not be as effective with? I mean, certainly if you're learning anything about design, no doubt, because you're seeing and practicing and using, but as you think about all your classes, would this kind of teaching be helpful in every one of them?
I think
maybe except for phys ed. Lift the monitor, now put it down. Now lift the monitor, yeah.
Math would be very helpful because there's lots of equations. English, no, because you just have to be creative and know how to write.
See, good point though, because yeah, it's not a design kind of thing, but but maybe that one is a little more involved. But you'd see it happening more into the future though, where this kind of interaction could still play a role. Huh?
Yeah, I think it's great. I really think it's great.
I mean, as a teacher, I think the best thing you can give a student is one-on-one attention. Yeah. And you know, I've had, you know, as when I was in high school, some of the best classes I had. We did a contemporary world issues class, and we read the New York Times, and there were 6 of us. You can't beat, you know, one teacher and 6 kids, but the reality is with the budget cuts, you have these huge classrooms. Sure. And it's no longer as instruction, it is just trying to just manage all these kids.
And of course, now after your comment and after the show, you'll have 50 students in all of your classes.
We'll see.
But it's manageable. I think that's the key. You could have more students and yet still have that appropriate, as needed, one-on-one time.
Right.
And being interactive. Right. So, what's your favorite class?
Well, besides
see, notice the hesitation there. Mr. Smith's and.
Well, being a senior this year, I didn't really have a lot of classes, so I was up on credits. But I did CAD. I loved going into. I think because it's all full of just like guys, and it's just fun being the center of attention sometimes.
I see. It's full of guys, but that tells a lot about this whole industry as well. That there are more young ladies who are truly interested in what you're doing as well.
There are. It's fun being the girl in there because you know. I don't know, sometimes guys just look down on you and you're like, no, I'm better than you. So.
Oh, I love it. So there we go. So I can see Brittany now being an award-winning designer.
Oh, I hope so.
We'll have to follow up with you. And no doubt with a teacher as interested as Mr. Smith, you're going to do well.
Yes, I will.
Well, you guys both keep up the good work. And thanks for sharing this with us. It brings a whole new element to what we're talking about here in designing your life and designing learning during your life to perspective. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
By all means, check out a link that we'll post on our website because I have a note that it's way too long to tell you on the air. So it's one of those probably school links that goes on for like an hour. So we'll link to you. Check it out at intotomorrow.com or graveline.com. Look for this week's Autodesk Gallery Show. Thanks, Jeffrey and Brittany, for joining us. I'm Dave Graveline. Back to the Autodesk Gallery right after this.